Get my 6. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the most awesomest homesteading channel on the entire planet. It has absolutely nothing to do with homesteading. I'm trying to find out where the camera is. Homesteading off the grid. All right. See my bee box back here. I'm out here in my fruit orchard. Look at this rabbit. You see the rabbit over there? It like practically just comes right up to me now. We see it out here like all the time. More rabbits here this year than we've ever seen because we've created beautiful rabbit habitat for them. But here's how they keep getting away with it. What is it? The crazy inflation, the insane amount of taxes, and the debt getting, or they own us. To quote a phrase out of Proverbs, the borrower is slave to the lender. Remember that, because we're going to talk about that. And I'm not religious by any means, but I like that. But here's why I'm doing this in front of the bee box. I got some new bees yesterday. There's like 20,000 bees in there. And when I transferred them from their nuke, they come in the plastic nuke box into their permanent home, I got stung 7 times. That's why I couldn't go over there to the side and let you guess which side I was going to come out with the creepy eyeball, because, man, look at this. I'm not very mobile today. Look at that. Oh, man, yeah. Got stung 3 times there. Got a big old nasty one on the back of my elbow. Look at that. Ooh, yeah. They were upset because the guy I got them from had just separated the queen they're with from her hive. She just hatched. So he took her and took a bunch of trays from the old queen to sell to me, of course. They weren't happy about it. Then they rode in the truck for 15 minutes to get home. I gave them 30 minutes. I just set the nuke there, let them fly around. But they were just so angry. So I got stung a lot. So I'm making my video from here so they can hear my voice, because this is one of the ways you let your bees become familiar with you and not sting you so much next time, if at all. I mean, we've had them in the past, and I've always been able to just, after having them for a month or so, if I want honey, I open the lid, I get the honey and dip it right into the bowl. I've done that on videos here, and I don't even wear my bee equipment because they don't care. So that's what's going on here. I'm talking here so they can get comfortable with me. So today, my family and I, we did something we do about every 2 weeks or so. We'll just jump in the car on a lazy day, always during the week. We don't do this on the weekend because the yuppies are out on the weekend. Too many people out on the weekend, the people that work during the week. And we'll just drive into some small community in Virginia, usually a historic community, or maybe they have some sort of something like a tourist, like a feature or something. Like 2 weeks ago, we went to Shenandoah Caverns over close to Harrisonburg. Today, we went to the tiny little small town of Shenandoah, Virginia, which we've been to several times. There's a really wonderful diner over there that we like to eat at. We'll go over there a couple times a year just to eat at this diner. The food's really good, especially the green beans. They cook them with bacon. So we had our meal, and it's so much cheaper than eating out in the People's Republic of Charlottesville, which is closer to us. But this town's only like another 15 minutes away, and the meals are literally half the price. The service is way better, and the food is way better. So I got the receipt, and I noticed on the bottom of the bill, there were 3 different taxes. So they had, and it's not just this diner doing it. I don't want to give this place a bad rap. It's like all the restaurants now. So it was like there was the total of the food and the drinks, and then they charged a meals tax, a Virginia state tax, sales tax, and a county sales tax. So there was 3 different taxes, and it all came up to be like $5 extra on a $48 ticket. So it was like 10%. And the money I paid the bill with is post-tax dollars. I already paid federal income taxes, state income taxes, and since I'm a self-employed person, a 1099 contractor for social media and Amazon and all these various outfits or outlets, I pay self-employment tax through the nose. That's one of my biggest taxes. So it's crazy. How do they get away with it? Well, and then the prices, this runaway inflation. Everything's doubled in the last 2 years. How do they get away with it? Interest rates are super high, and the Federal Reserve has not lowered rates, which everybody thought they'd do by now. Which would make it, of course, easier to borrow money and all that. How are they getting away with it? Well, I'm going to tell you, because we're letting them, because we keep buying, and there is a terrifying percentage of the American population and probably around the world who is buying on credit, because it's never been easier than now to get credit if you want it. I'm going to use an example. We just had our recently some modern ductless HVAC unit put in our house for heating and cooling, air conditioning in the summer, heat in the winter. Oh, let me tell you how the government gets in on this, and the corporations piggyback on top of the government. So we had this job quoted to us a couple of years ago, and it was $6,000. And at the time, that wouldn't have been comfortable for us. We had some other things going on, and we don't go out, we don't borrow money. We pay as we go, so we never owe. That's how we're able to spend our winters in the Philippines if we want, or next winter maybe going to Florida. Oh, actually, going to go to Peru too next winter, down South America. It's not because we're super rich. It's for two reasons. Number one, we work on social media, so as long as I have my phone and an internet connection, I can do my work from anywhere. And number two, we don't have all this debt that these middle-class yuppies have. So we don't have all these payments. We are not slaves to lenders. But most people, they're doing this. They don't care. They don't care that the prices have doubled in the last 3 years. They're still going out there and buying their goods and services. But here's the HVAC thing. So it was $6,000 a couple years ago. So we called them up last month and said, hey, we're taking a look at doing this now because, it's not a problem. We can afford this now, pay in cash. So the guy comes out and, check or whatever, debit card, not actual cash. I can't even remember what a dollar bill looks like. Do people actually use that anymore? So he comes out, he gives us a quote. Well, now it's $8,000. $8,000, wow. Well, I'm thinking inflation, the parts went up. But no, it's not that. You know what it is? Last year, our government passed some sort of clean energy bill, which will give homeowners who have this economically friendly unit put on their homes will receive up to either a $2,000 credit or 30% of the value of the unit, whichever's the lower, I think. So the most you can get is $2,000 back. So we're going to qualify for that, and that's a credit, not a deduction, which is more important. It's more favorable than a deduction. But the corporations said, wow, look what the federal government did. They just did this thing, so let's just start charging $2,000 more on all these projects because our customers aren't paying it. The government's giving them that credit, so we're really just getting money from the government, not the customer. And this also, the guy also said, oh, and by the way, you can get 0% interest financing on this. And I'm like, how's that work? Because I'm thinking in my head, hey, if I don't have to part with $8,000 today, if I can get 0% interest, how's this work? Well, here's how it works. They give you offer you a 5-year loan at 25% or something. And so if you make all the payments, it's like $271 a month every month for 5 years. The 25% interest, you'll end up paying literally twice as much. Instead of paying $8,000, you pay $15,500, just $500 shy of paying twice as much. However, if you make advance payments and you get it paid off in full in less than 1 year, they will return to you any interest that you did pay, and that's how you get your 0% interest. So that's what we're doing. Instead of sending in $271 a month, we're sending in $700 a month for 11 and a half months or whatever to hit that $8,000. So that does stretch it out. We know we won't pay interest because we know we'll do that. But most people don't. And so the companies have gone out. They've teamed up with subprime lenders to make credit for anything. You got any sort of home projects. You got some, some lawn care, landscaping projects you've been putting off. You wanted to get done. You can go out there and borrow money for this at high interest. But people are like, oh, I can make the payment. But the problem is they're doing this and they end up with 40 payments and now all of a sudden they can't make the payment. Well, you dig yourself into that hole. But so many people are going out there and doing this, there's no reason for the Federal Reserve to lower interest rates. And their buddies, the bankers, don't want them to because all the yuppies are going in there and borrowing money for everything at high interest, so they're making a ton of money. They're getting away with it because we're letting them. There's only one way to stop it, and that's to pretty much, now we can't stop spending money, but we can certainly stop spending money on non-necessities, things we don't need. We can, it's like this. Let's say there's something, oh, it's only $200 a month, every month for a year, it's $2,400. How about just save up that money until you got a little bit extra, and then you can pay for it in full, so you're not paying any interest, because you put interest on that, and let's say you don't get it paid in under that year and you get trapped into that, you're going to pay $4,800 after you've paid interest on it. You're going to pay for whatever that thing is twice. So then of course that taxation thing, all these different taxes on one bill after we've already been taxed to death. Well, I think maybe we can change some of that come November. So stop spending, stop borrowing. Let's try to maybe get some different people in charge in regards to our taxation. That's what we can do about it. But if we keep going out there and hyper spending and hyper borrowing, we're just playing right into their hands, and it's not going to change. And the problem with inflation is that once prices hit a certain level, you've hit the level of no return. They're not going to start lowering their prices. And there's companies like a certain iced tea company, not going to say their name, whose overhead has not gone up in the last couple of years, but they've doubled the price of their tea simply because they can, because everybody else is doing it. They're price gouging, and they're getting away with it because people keep buying their product. All right, so hope you got something out of this video. I hope my bees have become more familiar with me and the sound of my voice. I haven't been stung today. I see my little bunny rabbit still up there. She's become very comfortable with me. So thanks for tuning in for another video here at the most awesomest homesteading channel on the entire internet that has absolutely nothing to do with homesteading. Homesteading off the grid. See you for more next time.